Well, he's here. You get to see what they've been whispering about in corners.
Wagwan. Hey, yo. Shout out to Miss Pink Book Lessons for this one. Shout out to my man Big J, Jerry, for sending me this. Boy, when the tide comes rolling in, be careful of who you put your mouth on, because you don't ever know who knows you. Grab your shoulder pads and your helmet. Walk it into the end zone and peep the shit out.
Nobody does it. You're the only one.
See, Molly came at me last night for the, I don't know how many times, from a fake account. And she was making fun of me. But she didn't know that I know who she is.
That's a woman with the handle Mrs. Stephen A. Smith. She's been on social media airing out Molly with a bunch of accusations. For the longest, I've been saying Stephen A. better watch out for Eminem. That's Molly and Malika at ESPN.
Malika and Molly. These two pieces of trash. With the third edition of Joy Taylor. MJM. All three of them are trash. All three of them are useless, worthless, would do anything to stay on top. Not really much sports knowledgeable. Go to the WBA. Go be a sports broadcaster for them. Go dive into the female sport of it. Because I hear your conversations and your opinions when it comes to men's sports, especially with the NFL and the NBA. How are you going to challenge those that played the game, that have mastered the game? You have never played the game. You have never mastered the game.
Fatality.
Been pointing out these feminists and how they will one day cry victim at ESPN to get their way. This is before the lawsuit by that former Fox hairstylist who exposed Joy Taylor's plan to do just that. Yeah, I've been warning them. But remember, the stylist said Joy was planning to make false Me Too allegations against the man she sucked her way all the way to the top with if he didn't cooperate with her.
So, you mean to tell me if he didn't cooperate, she was going to go all the way with it? But see, you'll be exposing yourself if you did that. You'll be shooting yourself in the foot.
Or if Fox ever tried to get rid of her. Before all of that even happened with Joy, I was speaking on Eminem over the years and saw how they tried to play victim or bring up a lot of feminist rhetoric just to win debates. I always knew if they would do that just to win an argument, what will they do to get their way at ESPN? I always said it didn't matter how much Stephen A. or any of these simps try to kiss up to them, they will not be safe from them. Well, things started to heat up a couple of days ago before the airing of ESPN's First Take. A woman using the handle Mrs. Stephen A. Smith, her name is Nikita, she posted this towards Molly. She said, "It's almost time for First Take. Let's see what the crew is talking about because I got time today. What's good, Molly? I tolerate no disrespect. I stand on business, not a fake account." She went on to say I was so quiet that people got too comfortable with the disrespect. I told you that you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Nikita accused Molly of coming at her on social media using a fake account.
That's Stephen A. Smith's wife. Wow. Man, if it ain't calling the kettle black. You better be careful of who you put your mouth on. See, let's continue.
Accusing Molly of saying derogatory things and acting like Nikita's not Stephen A.'s type, or he wasn't serious about her or didn't want her or something, and Molly was more of his type. I'm assuming because Nikita is black and Molly isn't.
Shit, you see how she looks? Looking like a tall glass of chocolate milk. what the fuck is Molly thinking? Can't compete with that. But I digress.
Brutality.
But Nikita says Molly continues to call Stephen A. S.A. after he repeatedly told her not to. She said, do y'all want to know what happened? Molly falsely accused Stephen A. of harassment after he rejected her advances. She planted the lies on social media about them having an affair and blamed Jalen. She's talking about Jalen Rose, Molly's ex. She called Stephen A. S.A. as a sub to mean assault. Molly, Stephen A. and I told you to stop, but you wouldn't listen. ESPN, what are your thoughts? I got more where this comes from. You either correct her or I will continue to do it since you have prohibited Stephen A. from talking about us. Molly is not a victim. She is the villain playing victim after she did all the dirt. I mean, it was a lot going on.
My thing would be for ESPN to dive into this matter and deal with it. Because as of right now, it's making ESPN look bad.
It sounds like Mrs. Stephen A. is insinuating Molly is trying to come between her and Stephen A. Nikita also posted this screenshot of some simp low-key trying to defend Molly, talking about she's eye candy. And Nikita responded by saying, that's the problem. A show needs quality content as a priority for people to watch. She brought none. Further, if she wanted to be eye candy, she couldn't even get that part right. She just kept going in on Molly.
I agree. Molly has no talent, just look good for the camera. No talent, really no good conversation as it involves the sports, whether it's NFL or NBA. But again, you always got some simp ass out there, simping for the gram. Don't even know Molly. Don't even know the situation, but just simping just to be simping.
Wasn't letting up. Nikita also claims that ESPN is trying to sabotage Stephen A. She's saying the same executive who's beefing with Pat McAfee is also trying to sabotage Stephen A. behind the scenes.
Now, there are some people actively trying to sabotage us from within ESPN. More specifically, I believe Norby Williamson is the guy who is attempting to sabotage.
Not my man is talking, but the other brother. Look at his facial micros. One thing you've always noticed, and I've always been saying it, when a person is talking or when a person is listening, look at their body language and their facial micros. It tells the whole complete story.
Outstanding.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe because I look more into things instead of looking at things. I'm like, hold up, motherfucker. Who the hell you looking at? What's going on?
No, but like somebody tried to get ahead of our actual ratings release with wrong numbers 12 hours beforehand. That's a sabotage attempt. And it's been happening basically this entire season from some people who didn't necessarily love the old edition of the Pat McAfee show to the ESPN family.
She said, I told y'all I will be back to talk about dirty ESPN executives. I know an army of paid trolls is trying to discredit me, but listen to Pat McAfee tell you the same thing. You will not win against me and Stephen A. God has given us a victory. Every person who tried to sabotage us will be exposed and will pay for their evil deeds. God will restore me, Stephen A., and others they have harmed. According to Nikita, Stephen A. is not only being sabotaged by some executives, but she claims Molly is allegedly in cahoots with them. Take a look.
Hey y'all, you ready for a little story time? You know that kid in school who's always like really, really quiet? And there's a bully that keeps on picking on him until everybody finally finds out that that kid got them hands? I'm that kid that got them hands.
Finish her.
Yeah, you do got them hands. You do got them hands. We've all been there. You keep poking at that bear. Sooner or later, that bear gonna give you something. That bear gonna give you something you've been looking for.
So let's have a little story time about Molly on First Take. See, Molly came at me last night for the I don't know how many times from a fake account. And she was making fun of me. But she didn't know that I know who she is. And so I told her, like Stephen told her, to stop calling him SA. But she wouldn't listen. And I told her not to do it again or I was going to air her out. And so she decided to get on First Take today to do it. So let me tell you a little bit about Molly and why she calls Stephen SA. Molly actually falsely accused Stephen of sexual harassment. This was after he rejected her advances because I guess she thought that he didn't really love me.
That's how it normally goes. And it's a shame that you have a large number of women that take it there, especially when the ego get hurt. Shit. It's something when a person try to comfort somebody and the shit blows up in their face. I love it. I love it. You don't go picking at folks and thinking shit ain't gonna happen, shit ain't gonna come back on you. It's definitely gonna slap you in the face and do some things. You cannot go around messing with folk and think nothing ain't gonna happen to you.
Fatality.
And you hard-headed. And you stubborn. Hell no, I wouldn't mess with your ass either. That's too much toxicness going on. That's too much trauma you had going on. Something took place in your childhood. You and Malika and Joy, all three of y'all, should be on an island by y'all damn selves away from normal folk.
She plants this story and she thought it was going to faze me, but it didn't because the one thing I know about my man, he likes all the assets and she ain't got none. Anyway, so she let it play out. And so when it didn't come, I told Stephen at that moment, I said, you should nip this in the bud because she is going to claim you harassed her. And he said, no, my bosses told me not to. And there's another story about those bosses that actually are trying to sabotage Stephen A. at ESPN, but I'll talk about that later. So today, Molly was the one who did it. She planted the story. She falsely accused Stephen. And apparently she didn't think I was about this life. But baby, I'm about this life. See, Stephen should have told you, not only am I a banking expert, I'm an IT expert. And on top of that, I was the EEO director at the FDIC.
Flawless victory.
Woo-hoo! Remember I told you, be careful of who you put your mouth on, because you don't never know who knows you, or you don't never know what that individual is capable of.
You better come again before you come correct, before you come at me. Because I'd rather be growing my baby. But baby, I'll stop and take care of you.
Nikita came back with more accusations, claiming Molly wanted more money. She's trying to negotiate a new contract. According to Nikita, Molly is getting paid $400,000 per year. And she's upset because in her mind, she believes she should be equal to Stephen A. Smith. Nikita wrote this to Molly. She said, I didn't forget about you, girl. Class is in session. Your days are numbered figuratively and literally. And then she posted this.
Molly girl, hey, you thought I forgot about you? Oh, I didn't. I just had things to do. Let me put my glasses on because class is in session.
Hold on. Here's the thing. Oh, damn. Mushroom coffee. Stephen A. Smith's wife knows something. She knows something. I'm listening. She knows something. Days is numbered. After Molly's contract is up, she's done, she's gone. You're not going to see her. I remember Rachel Nichols. She was like one of the best because she knows her sports and she was friendly. She knew what to say. She carried herself in a professional manner. Man, she'll bring back Miss Nichols, but Again, she knows something.
Outstanding.
You see, when people don't think water is wet, you got to take them to the ocean.
Fat
So
meat
let's
ain't
have part
greasy.
two about Molly. See, the reason that Molly decided to go and make these false accusations against Stephen A. is simply because she wanted money. Molly is in contract negotiations, and she only makes $400,000 a year. And I said only because me, somebody I don't even know, I made that in the federal government.
Flawless victory.
But anyway, Molly wants to make Stephen A. money when she doesn't have Stephen A. talent. And so you can't do that. See, Molly is dry. She lacks really any talent and personality to be on television. You haven't seen her across multiple platforms because nobody wants her. She doesn't resonate.
When we talk about sports analysts, there's so many ways and so many directions that you can go in that. But you got to be true to the game and true to yourself. Them three women are not true to themselves, and they're not true to the game. Because why is it that certain athletes don't even like answering none of Malika's questions? Then when you got Joy and Molly, dudes have attitudes with her. Once again, when you listen and you watch body language and facial macros, it tells the whole fucking story.
That's simply it. So if you want Stephen A. money, you need to have Stephen A. talent. Okay? Second thing is Molly had help with Norby because Norby is that type of manager. You know, that manager who hates to see you succeed more than them and to make more money more than them. He's that person. And so they found a way that they thought they could hold Stephen A. down. That's what's happened. So, since Norby has been hating for a long time on talent that makes more than him, he's going to reap what he sows. So let me tell you what's going to happen with Molly and ESPN because of Norby. Molly will not be working on First Take next season. As a matter of fact, she won't be working at ESPN. Molly is going to get sick again. Her illness is going to come back, and it's going to stay. Further, ESPN profits and ratings will continue to decline until Norby Williams is moved out of that organization. Norby is a cancer, and what God will not tolerate is people being hurt by bad managers. That is what's going to happen. And if ESPN doesn't remove Norby, what's further going to happen is ESPN will fail to exist in the future. And Fox will take over as the nation's leader and as it relates to sports. Now, let me know if you're still feeling froggy and you want some more of these facts. You better ask somebody about me because this is so y'all make sure y'all record it so when it happens, that you know you can't play with me.
Finish her.
Only thing that I can say is, Molly, prepare to do something else. Prepare to go play checkers somewhere. You poked the wrong bear.
Victory lap.